The news that is coming out about cannabis is awesome, and I'm so excited to keep sharing with you. For example, this article, marijuana and opioids are equally effective in reducing pain, with cannabis offering additional holistic benefits, a new study shows. Medical marijuana and opioids are equally effective at mitigating pain intensity in patients with chronic pain, according to a new study in the Journal of Cannabis Research. But also, cannabis provided more holistic relief, such as by improving sleep, focus, and emotional well-being. I can attest to all three of those things. Researchers said their findings support the hypothesis that medical cannabis, MC, alleviates pain through holistically altering the pain experience rather than only targeting pain intensity. Quote, "The results of the present studies support the hypothesis that the effects of MC, medical cannabis, on pain experience are more holistic than those of opioids." Their report says MC may alleviate pain through affecting a broad range of pain-related experiential factors such as relaxation, improved sleep, and mood, being able not to react to the pain as well as a sense of control. The 9-person Finnish team looked at a sample of 201 chronic pain patients, 40 of whom used medical marijuana and 161 of whom used opioids to treat pain. There was some crossover, with about 45% of medical marijuana patients also reporting using opioids for the pain and about 4.5% of opioid users having used medical cannabis. Subjects completed retrospective surveys on the positive and negative phenomenological effects of the medicine. That's a big word. And researchers then compared scores from the two groups. So they had them retrospective, so look back at the positive and negative phenomenological effects of the phenomenal. So kind of by the definition, they said that cannabis was phenomenal. I'm going to go with that. Quote, "Neither medical cannabis nor opioids are first-line treatments for chronic pain, but both are commonly used when other treatments fail to provide sufficient pain relief. Adding that recreational users of cannabis or opioids, along with people who use the substances to treat conditions other than chronic pain, were explicitly asked not to partake in the study." So anybody that used opioids or cannabis for fun and not medical reasons was saying, please don't mess up our study. Honor system, users honor. The researchers concluded from the self-reported data that medical marijuana and opioids, quote, "were perceived to be equally effective in reducing pain intensity, but medical cannabis additionally positively affected broader pain-related factors such as emotion, functionality, and overall sense of well-being. Both medical cannabis and opioids were perceived to reduce pain intensity equally well." Participants said the two treatments did not differ in terms of side effects, but they rated the overall effects of medical cannabis as more positive. Now, over the long run, there are different side effects to using opioids and or cannabis, but that's not this study. The strongest differences between the two groups, the study says, were deeper relaxation, better sleep, improved mood, and being able to feel pain without reacting to it, which were more commonly reported in the medical marijuana group. So, you know how when they say you're stoned, nothing really bothers you? It's kind of what they were saying. Physical pain, well, it kind of lowers it and numbs you down a little bit. And I'm all for that. In summary, the results led support to the notion that the psychoactive effects of medical cannabis are relevant to its therapeutic effect on pain, in line with suggestions in previous literature. However, by psychoactive in this case, we do not mean something that produces an altered state of consciousness in the sense of distorting one's perception of reality and cognitive processes, but instead something that holistically alters consciousness to a more positive direction or towards, quote, normality. Further, they noted, there were no indications that medical cannabis, despite its holistic effects on consciousness, was experienced to distort cognitive processes, but instead was perceived to improve memory, focus, and clarity of thought. Researchers said their findings align with past research showing additional benefits for medical cannabis patients using marijuana to treat chronic pain. For example, a 2017 study found medical marijuana users experienced substantially less depression and anxiety than opioid users. A separate 2018 study, meanwhile, found that cannabis did not affect perceived pain intensity, but instead made the pain feel less unpleasant and more tolerable. Medical cannabis is not going to fix your pain. Like if your bone's broken, it's not going to fix your bone, but it might help the pain of the broken bone. Or if you stub your toe, twist your ankle, or have a sore muscle, things like that. Headache. You take 2 Aleve for headache, or 2 Tylenol for headache, ibuprofen for a headache, or take 2 gummies. Which do you think that you would take? Let us know in the comments. Do you prefer opioids? Have you been on opioids? Or cannabis? Or have you done both? Let us know. I'd love to know about your experience. Quote, the use of medical cannabis in chronic pain has also been associated with improved physical and social functioning and overall quality of life, the study says, pointing to research from 2016, 2017, and 2022. This previous research thus supports the hypothesis that medical cannabis may exert its therapeutic effect on pain through altering the pain experience in a more holistic way than traditional analgesics. That is, in addition to having an anti-nociceptive effect, I think that's what it says, i.e. removing pain or lessening its intensity. That's what that means. Medical cannabis may affect the pain experience more broadly, influencing factors such as mood, emotion, pain tolerance, functionality, and overall well-being. Notably, authors said the outcomes appeared to be more positive in past studies for patients who consumed whole cannabis flower rather than synthetic THC or isolated cannabinoids. Looking at literature reviews from 2021 and 2022, they noted that only 6 of the 20 studies that were included in the review dealt with whole plant-based products, all superior to placebos. By contrast, in both studies, the results concerning isolated and synthetic cannabinoids were mixed, and absolutely plant-based, whole-based flower with the other cannabinoids and terpenes in it is going to give you what they call the entourage effect, which is a holistic, which is what they're talking about. So in so many ways, when they're saying a holistic effect, they're saying the entourage effect. That's what that means. So if you've ever experienced smoking THCA or Delta 8 or something synthetic or just CBD, it doesn't do maybe anything or as much as regular cannabis does because of that entourage effect. Thus, they concluded the present results contribute to the accumulating evidence that whole plant cannabis flower may be an effective analgesic. That's the word. I hate that word. I don't know why. It's the bane of my articles. A separate study recently found that the so-called entourage effect of whole plant marijuana produces a stronger and longer lasting psychoactive effect than pure THC. I was just talking about that. I didn't even know it was going to be in the article, but that's why I'm here. I love it. The Finnish team acknowledged that the narrow availability of marijuana in the country was an obstacle to research. Stop me if you've heard this before. Quote, a central limitation of the present survey study pertains to the special status of medical cannabis in Finland. Although legal in principle, prescriptions for medical cannabis is very difficult to attain. Citing research that illustrates the trend, medical cannabis prescription rates have decreased in Finland from about 370 in 2017 to 240 in 2020 and 160 in 2021. A new study, The Holistic Effects of Medical Cannabis Compared to Opioids on Pain Experience in Finnish Patients with Chronic Pain, comes as more research examines the possibility of using cannabis or specific derivatives of the plant as safer alternatives to opioids in some settings. For example, another study published this month in the Journal of Dental Research found that pure CBD could alleviate acute dental pain as well as opioid formula commonly used in dentistry. Check out our video on that. Our results indicate that a single dose of CBD is as potent as current analgesic, that word again, regimens and can manage emergency dental pain effectively. adding that their work appears to be the first randomized clinical trial testing CBD for managing emergency dental pain and could eventually lead to FDA approval of CBD for dental pain. So this is the front lines of research for cannabis. You're living through it. If you've ever wanted to live through a historical time in the country or in the world, I mean, that was pretty obvious that we're already doing that. But in regards to cannabis, this is as historic as it's ever been. A separate study last month found that letting people buy CBD legally significantly reduced opioid prescription rates, leading to 6.6% to 8.1% fewer opioid prescriptions. We love to hear that. Plants over pills. Another study published this summer in the Journal Cannabis, that's a great name for a journal, linked medical marijuana use to lower pain levels and reduced dependence on opioids and other prescription medications. Participants reported reduced pain and anxiety, improved physical and mental functioning, better sleep quality, better mood, less reliance on prescription medications, including opioids and benzodiazepines. Those are dangerous pills. So literally this study is saying medical cannabis is proving to be, as if we didn't already know, is proving to be as good, but probably better than opioids, because cannabis is a plant, organic plant found in nature that you can grow organically, and it has all, hundreds of cannabinoids and terpenes and trichomes and all these other scientific things that are in the plant that affect with your body, that react with your body and affect it in a positive way. Bottom line, cannabis is better than pills. Plants over pills. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is plants over pills. For every pill created, which is synthetic, they have reverse engineered a plant formula. So cannabis's formula, CBD's formula, they have recreated and synthetically duplicated and just called it ibuprofen. Pain reliever, inflammation, does the same thing. So I am excited. This is awesome. It's official, and more study. Now, it blows my mind that this is being done in Finland and not America, where got to ask yourself, why are all these studies being done not in the United States when we have a great science industry, or so we say? So let's legalize it, reschedule it, whatever we have to do so we can speed up and ramp up this research so we can help more people, right? I agree. Hit the like button and stay blessed.